The transfer portal is hitting my Alabama Crimson Tide mighty hard. Now, I know the transfer portal is affecting every program in college football, but it seems to me that my Alabama Crimson Tide is having somebody enter their name in the portal on a daily basis. We had 2 players that enter their name today. Wide receiver Emmanuel Henderson Jr., cornerback Jaylen Mbakwe. Emmanuel Henderson Jr., he was recruited as a 4-star. Jaylen Mbakwe, 5-star. Now, Jaylen Mbakwe was a freshman, only spent 1 season with my Alabama Crimson Tide, and he got a lot of playing time as a true freshman. I mean, a lot. He also had an interception too. But anyway, Jaylen Mbakwe, he wasn't playing just freaking in garbage time. This guy was playing critical snaps in the game at critical times. But he decided to leave. Word on the street is he got offered a 7-figure deal from another football program. And word on the street, that program is Lane Kiffin and those Ole Miss Rebels. So if that's the case, if he's been offered a 7-figure deal and Coach Kalen DeBoer is not willing to match that, then I don't blame him for going. Because guess what? This is college football today. This is the era of the NIL, and with no parameters, no guardrails on the NIL and the transfer portal, these coaches is doing whatever they can to get the best players in college football without doing all the recruiting. That's what they doing. So this is where we at now. Ain't nobody safe. Ain't no player safe. Because when these other programs get to talking big dollars, you don't know what's going to happen. Loyalty in college football no longer exists. And I'm talking about every program, no matter what program it is. These players ain't loyal to that program anymore. And if you think they loyal and they get NIL money, let's say they getting $2 million. Somebody come with $3.54 million, I can almost guarantee you they gonna leave. I can guarantee it. But anyway, my Alabama Crimson Tide, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 guys has entered their name in the transfer portal. Now we know Jaheim Otis, he entered his name before the season was even over. But since the season has ended, or between the last game, Auburn, and up until now, 13 guys has entered their name in the transfer portal. Several notable names: Kobe Prentice, Caleb Odom, Kendrick Law, Miles McVay, Dylan Lonergan, Justice Haynes, Devontae Smith, who just entered his name in the transfer portal. I believe that was when? Yesterday, maybe Saturday. And he's already committed to Notre Dame. Already. So you know he had to be talking to Notre Dame before he entered his name in the transfer portal. All right. But Devontae Smith, Emmanuel Henderson, and Jaylen Mbakwe, all notable names for my Alabama Crimson Tide. They are no longer a part of my Alabama Crimson Tide, you know. But hey, it is what it is. I don't blame these guys, especially if you ain't getting playing time. I don't blame you for leaving. And if you are getting playing time, if you are a starter and a team come with 7 figures, I don't blame you for leaving. It is what it is. I know a lot of Alabama fans may be upset about the transfer portal, but there's no need. A lot of Alabama fans might say these guys are quitters. No, they doing what's best for them. If Alabama ain't offering you 7 figures and somebody else is, wouldn't you go? It's just like a regular job. You making $30 an hour, somebody offer you $40 an hour, you getting the hell on. And that's fact. So, hey, it is what it is. But Alabama, they looking at some transfer targets. You know, Florida defensive lineman Kelby Collins NC State wide receiver Kevin Conception. I hope we get him. Texas A&M defensive line Gabriel Brownlow Dindy. Damn. Nebraska tight end Nate Bauerkircher. Virginia Tech cornerback Mansour Delane. Mississippi State wide receiver Mario Carver. Want him too. Miami, Florida wide receiver Isaiah Horton. Elon tight end Kobe Hardy. So we are looking. We got targets. Okay. But back to Jaylen Mbakwe. He is the first surprise name that has entered the portal from my Alabama Crimson Tide. Everybody else, you figured they would enter the portal. I done talked about it before a lot with my buddies Roll Tide and Rise Up and Nick Saban Jr. We talked about Emmanuel Henderson and Justice Haynes and Dylan Lonergan. We talked about them going into the portal. Caleb Odom, when he voiced his frustration with the play calling. Talked about all those guys entering the portal. But this is the first that we done heard that one of these guys being offered 7-figure deals or even a high 6-figure number. This is the first time we done heard it with Jaylen Mbakwe. So he jumped at the chance. Can't blame him. Like I say, he had a podcast, him and Ryan Williams together. So hopefully Ryan Williams will stick with the program. But if not, as I've said before, everybody is replaceable. I said this when Caleb Downs transferred. I said it when Isaiah Bond transferred. Everybody is replaceable, including Jaylen Mbakwe, including Justice Haynes. Yeah, I said it. Now, I want to remind you that every one of these guys that I mentioned entering the transfer portal, those guys were Nick Saban's recruits, okay? So a lot of people, fans outside of Alabama fan base, were saying, well, these ain't even Coach Kalen DeBoer's recruits. These are Nick Saban's recruits. Well, guess what? Seems to me Nick Saban's recruits are leaving at a rapid pace under the new regime. That's what it seems like to me. So, hey, it is what it is, man. We still got recruits. And guess what? Mbakwe, he will be replaced. So, you can, like Nick Saban Jr. says, when it came to Justice Haynes, and I'm saying that when it comes to Jaylen Mbakwe, you can't miss what you don't see. Because how many times did we see Justice Haynes carry the ball? Not too many. Jaylen Mbakwe, even though he was in the game at critical times, on critical downs, how many big plays did he make? He only had 1 interception and 2 pass deflections. Okay? I think he had about 7 tackles. But he got plenty of playing time. I can tell you that right now. But so to those guys who decided to enter their name in the transfer portal, OKB, he wish you the best. He wish you the best. But I'll go back to what Malachi Moore said the offseason of coming into the 2024 season. If you ain't wearing crimson and white, you know the rest. If you ain't wearing crimson and white, then hey, it is what it is. Do what you do. But the crimson and white train is going to keep on rolling. And my Alabama Crimson Tide going to keep on kicking ass and taking names. And some of you might say, well, how could you say that? Y'all ain't in the playoffs. You lost 3 games. That's fine. 9-3 is damn good for a first-year head coach in his new program. Now, it could have been better. I would have liked for it to be better. But the fact of the matter is, that's where it's at. And I think it's pretty damn good for Coach Kalen DeBoer. So, hey, my Alabama Crimson Tide, we going to be all right. And I'm sure Jaylen Mbakwe will not be the last name to be entered into the transfer portal for my Alabama Crimson Tide. It will not be the last. But for those who are on the fence about putting their name in the transfer portal, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Because if you on the fence, you ain't bought in all the way. That's the way I see it. Go ahead and do it. You ain't gonna stop the Alabama Crimson Tide from rolling. Because my Alabama Crimson Tide gonna roll with or without you. You can believe that. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that little bit to you, that my Alabama, but that cornerback Jaylen Mbakwe, 5-star, have entered his name into the transfer portal. And guess what? It ain't gonna make a damn bit of difference with the play on the field. Matter of fact, in this bowl game, we'll see a lot of new faces. That's what I do know. We'll see a lot of new faces for my Alabama Crimson Tide. And we'll be looking at the future of the Alabama Crimson Tide in this bowl game against these Michigan Wolverines. I can tell you that right now. So, hey, it is what it is. Now, don't y'all worry about my Alabama Crimson Tide. Especially if you are a fan outside of the Alabama fan base, worry about your program. Especially if your program is in the playoff. Y'all got to accomplish, got missions to accomplish. All right? So, and I'm going to tell you right now, we might be losing players to the transfer portal. We're going to lose players to the draft. But I'm going to tell you right now, 2025 ain't no damn rebuilding season. I don't want to hear it. It ain't no damn rebuilding season. So, hey, it is what it is. We got guys that's waiting in line to play. And these guys transferring, they going to get their chance just a little bit earlier. Okay? Now, if you remember, I ain't gonna even talk about that. But anyway, it is what it is. Well, I do want to say, a lot of these guys that transfer from Alabama and go to different programs, what do? When they get to that program that they transfer to? Not a damn thing. And then they wind up back in the transfer portal. Should have stuck it out with my Alabama Crimson Tide. That's what you should have did. It's a process. It's a process. That's all I damn know. But hey, it is what it is. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that to you. Transfer portal hitting my Alabama Crimson Tide pretty hard this offseason. But guess what? It ain't the offseason yet. But anyway, it's hitting my Alabama Crimson Tide pretty hard already. But my Alabama Crimson Tide is going to be all right. You can believe that. Now remember, be blessed. And KB don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. No matter who decide to jump in the damn transfer portal. I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. Enroll damn Tide.